going on, guys? The reviewer is here, and I'm back to give y'all this album review of Gambino Family called Ghetto Organized. Now, in case y'all don't know who Gambino Family is, or I should say was, they was a group from New Orleans, Louisiana, and the group contains of Gotti, Malachi, Fino, may he rest in peace, and Reginelli. All right, this is their first album under No Limit Records, and this is the real deal. I'm gonna get that Mia X Mama drama, be on the lookout for that. But honestly, to tell you the truth, I've never really listened to this album like that when it first came out in 1998, I believe. So I'm gonna give y'all the review and how I feel about this album. With that being said, the producers of this album were Beats by the Pound. If y'all not familiar who they are, I'll put them in the description box. And the features, you can see it on this cover here. If you like, you can pause it, and it has more features as well. So, all right, let's get with the songs now. So let me zoom it here a little bit. All right, should be good. All right, so the first one is called I'm a Baller. This features Master P, he's on the hook, C Murder, Mia X, and Fiend. This song was sampled from an old school track, I don't know what, but the beat is pretty good. The vocals are pretty nice. All of them come through with some nice vocals, and y'all know how Master P did with the hook. It's kind of like generic, but not too bad. Then the next one is called Childhood Years. This features C Murder and Porsha. She sings the hook, and C Murder does the hook as well. There's a music video for this song as well. And Gambino Family comes through with some pretty good vocals. It's a nice laid back track for these guys. And if you haven't seen the video, I'll put that link in the description box for y'all to peep. Because truth be told, I never knew there was a video. It's not bad though. You can tell it's kind of low budget. Probably the type of video you'll see on like Uncut or something. But overall, it's a nice little track. They're just talking about the years and how they came up and stuff. So the next one is called Make 'Em Bleed. This features Fiend, Mr. Servon, and Silk the Shocker. The beat is pretty solid. Silk comes through with some pretty good lyrics, the way he does when yelling and rapping off beat, that type of thing. And then Fiend does a nice job on this song as well. And I believe C Murder is on the hook. Is not credited, I don't believe. And Mr. Servon comes through with some crazy vocals. The way he's rapping on there is like, it's insane when you hear him rap on this track. It's not bad, it's just different. I'll just put it like that. But Fiend does a good job on here, and the rest of the family does good as well. But again, it's a solid beat with some nice vocals. The next one is called Desperado, and this song is pretty nice, and they just pretty much saying if anyone steps to them, it's gonna be Desperado and things of that nature. And to be honest, man, it's kind of hard to tell which is which sometimes. I kind of recognize Reginelli when I hear him rap, and maybe Fino, just to say, you know. Then the next one is Drama in My City. This features Ghetto Commission and KLC. This is probably the least of my favorite tracks on this album, but it's not bad though. I like the vocals, but the beat isn't somewhat there. But Ghetto Commission does come through with some nice vocals, and Gambino Family as well, and even KLC. Then the next one is called Trapped in the Storm. This features C Murder and Mia X. C Murder does the hook, and he raps as well. This is a really bumping track, man, and you can tell this is a C Murder song as soon as you hear the beat. Gambino comes through, all of them come through with some good vocals. C Murder comes through with a dope verse. Mia X does really well. This is probably one of the better tracks off of this album, man. I mean, I think I played this song a couple times in a row. The next one is called Only G's Ride. This features Moby Dick, and Mystical. Now, I believe Moby does the hook, because I don't think I hear him rap. But everybody, Gambino Family comes through with some nice vocals, and they pretty much talking about some girls, things like that. And then Mystical comes through with a crazy verse. Y'all know how he does, man. When he starts rapping, you already know he about to get hyped. This is a pretty solid track for these guys. And like I said, if you want to hear Mystical verse, that's what you should be hearing out for in this song. The next one is called Clean Sweep. No one is featured on here, and this is probably one of my favorite tracks off of the album, man. It's a really hype song. If y'all don't know what Clean Sweep is pretty much like if you out in the streets and they do a clean sweep, that means the cops coming in and, trying to, arrest people out there. But this is a really dope track. To me, this is one of my personal favorites off of the album. I don't know who raps first on this song, but he goes in, man, with that verse. Probably one of my favorite verse off the album. Ghetto Ways. And this features Porsha, who does the hook on this song. They're pretty much saying the way they live coming up, they turn into, the ghetto ways that they live. This is a really nice track. And I also feel this should have been a music video for this song as well, because it seemed like the type of track that would be qualified for one. Porsha does a really good job on the vocals. Then the next one is called So Much Drama. This features Odell, 241, I don't know who that is really, I'm not too sure, and Magic, may he rest in peace. Now Odell and 241 does the hook, and Gambino Family comes through with some really nice verses, and then Magic comes through with a dope verse. I mean, he comes through pretty hype, He pretty much finished off the track, and overall is really good, man. Then the next one is Studio B. This features Snoop Dogg and Moby, and Moby does the vocals. And every time I hear the song, y'all, I just feel like skipping it, but I start liking it when I hear it. Studio B is pretty much, I guess, a term for where the groupies go at in the studio. They got groupies that goes in there. But the beat is nice though, and Snoop Dogg comes through with some pretty straight vocals. I'm not the biggest fan of Snoop, to be honest, but like I said, it's a pretty solid track. Gambino Family comes through with some pretty good vocals. But like I said, to me, this is probably like a hit or miss, for those that hear it. And then the next one is called Young Guns. Now, I believe this is only Malachi and Reginelli on the song, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's just those guys. Y'all know the term Young Guns. That means they about to go out in a blaze, things of that nature. And it's kind of hype as well. And they come through with some pretty good vocals. I was kind of like in the days when I was hearing this song, like they were just going in with their verses. So overall, it's a pretty good track from these guys. Then the next one is called Losing My Faith. This is a kind of a laid back track for these guys. They just coming through with some nice vocals on there. And like I said, the beat is pretty solid for the most part. And the next one is called Memories. Sons of Folk are featured on this song. They sing the hook. And this song is pretty much about those that passed away and things of that nature. And they're pretty much giving shout outs, rest in peace to those that may have been out there. And even some that's locked up. So Gambino Family comes through with some really nice vocals. I'm not sure who raps on the last verse, but I really dig it, man. It kind of reminds me of a similar situation myself. So this is a really nice track from these guys, and I love that hook. Then the next one is called To All My Thug Ends. Y'all know what N is. And this features Big Ed, may he rest in peace, Full Blooded, Mac. This song is blazing, man. This song kind of gets me amped. The beat is bumping and the hook is really nice, really catchy, man. Big Ed comes through with a really dope verse. Full Blooded, he comes through pretty solid. Mac, again, glad to hear that he's finally out. But he comes through with a really dope verse. And the rest of them does really well on the song. Definitely one of my favorite tracks off of the album. Then the next one is called Don't Cry. This features C Murder, Fiend, Magic, and QB. What happened to QB? I've never really heard too much from him, but anyway, this song is really nice, man. This song kind of reminds me of the Fiend called What You Mean You Ain't Heard About. That, y'all remember that song? It kind of reminds me of that with the sound in the background. C Murder comes through with a dope verse. Fiend does really good on this track. Magic does well, and then QB comes through with a pretty good verse. The rest of the group comes through with some really dope verses. This is another dope track from these guys, man. That beat is pretty laid back, and the sound is really catchy. Then the next one is called Mafioso, and this is a really nice track as well. That beat is bumping, man. I love that beat. The bass line on there is sick. And they all come through with some pretty good vocals. I think the second verse, I really dig it. And they, man, come through with a dope verse. And like I said, that beat is bumping. And then the last one is called You Never Know. This song is really nice. It's kind of a laid back track. And they're pretty much saying like, you never know who's out to get you. It could be your best friend, your enemy, your relatives, and things of that nature. And I can definitely relate to that. I think a lot of us should. But they all come through with some pretty nice verses, and the beat is kind of laid back, so not bad of a track. All right, so those are all the songs that I reviewed for this album. I think I pretty much did all of them. To rate this out of a 10, I will give this album a solid 8.5 to a 9, so like an 8.75. Gambino Family does a really good job with this album here, with the nice beats. They made a good selection of the beats, has some good bit of features too. But it was also good to hear a few songs that none of them, the outside members of No Limit wasn't featured on, which means they stood out. They can stand on their own. So with that being said, this is a really dope album. I dig it. Amazingly, this album went platinum, and it was pretty much underground. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't believe it myself. But like I said, if you're a fan of the No Limit days, I think you will really love this album, man. I think they have it on the streams now, if I'm not mistaken. I think they have it on iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, all that stuff. So if you haven't heard this album before, I would definitely recommend hearing it out. Or if you prefer the physical, like myself, like I like to do, the price is pretty high. So it just would be a nice album to collect if you're a fan of collecting things. So with that being said, that's it. Shout out to Gambino Family for coming out with a dope album. And again, may Fino rest in peace. Shout out to all the features and all the producers. All right. Much love to the real folks, and I'll be on here back with another review. All right. Peace out, guys.